J E T jet.
Jet. Absolutely right. Great. I was collaborating with you. We both were working together, right?
What is collaboration?
Collaboration when we work together for certain thing, for some task, right?
Like we did just now?
Yes.
I was faltering in reading and you helped me.
In case if I'm not able to read any word, then you are going to guide me. You're going to help me. That is called collaboration.
Okay, so collaboration means working together
As a team.
and helping each other, so that if anyone is facing any problem, we can solve the problem of that person. That is collaboration.
So children, now you all are going to do in a similar way, right? If your partner is not able to understand anything, so we'll take that as ownership and we'll guide that partner. So can we do that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let's get started.
What is the first picture? This is a what? What is the first sound of the picture? Yeah. No. See again the picture? Yeah. No, it will be V. It is yam or it is van? Van. So it will be V. Okay.
Today we are going to do an activity where you are going to read a chapter and ask the questions to your partner. In this way, you will be able to enhance your critical thinking.
Today we will read EVS Animals chapter Animals Around Us. Okay. We see different types of animals around us. They are both big and small. They live on land, in water or on trees. Now your turn. Animals like cat and horse live on land. Animals like dolphin and shark live in water. And animals like monkey and bats live on trees. Now from this page we will ask some questions. Okay. We see different types of animals around us or one type of animal? We always see different types of animals around us. Okay, now it's your turn. Okay. Should we take good care of our pets? Yes, we should take good care of our pets.
This will enhance your creativity and you will be able to understand how to use your waste materials.
Let's make the pattern board. Okay. Right. Well done.
What is the connection between 6Cs and alpha classes?
Actually, ma'am, I feel if a child is taught through alpha process, he possesses all the skills which are needed for securing jobs in future and make him better citizens.
And also, Ankita ma'am, in alpha classes, like they learn to work in pairs. Yes. They do random pairing. They take turns to ask questions. So they are responsible for their learning as well as the learning of their partner, right? So it helps them to converse better. They collaborate with each other and they become more confident and responsible in the class. This is what I felt.
Paired learning is the cornerstone of the Alpha program. Children working together in pairs enable rapid rates of learning. In this video, we are going to discuss that why paired learning is effective, why random pairing, and how to make pairs. Let's begin with why paired learning is effective.
Many studies have shown that paired learning is more swift and it's more effective, and it helps in improving children's performance, their academic performance, their social development, as well as their motivation and the engagement in the activity.
A traditional classroom has a teacher people ratio of 40:1, which really makes it difficult for the teacher to pay attention on each and every child. But when we talk about random pairing, this ratio becomes 1:1. The child is engaged and doing the activities.
The Times of India Joe Smith tracks are up to half kilometer long, 2 feet wide. A ground survey of the cracks revealing the vulnerability of the area, reports Shivani Azad. Speaking at the UP Global Investors Summit in Gradual on Friday, Tata Sons chairman
Okay, so now we know that pair learning is effective, but now the question is how to make pairs.
Okay, so there are different ways of making pairs. We can even use paper chits, right? Or ice cream sticks on which you can write down the roll numbers of the children, and you can call out one child who will pick the ice cream sticks, and he or she is going to call out the roll numbers written on it, and then those two children will come together and sitting in a pair. Let's start the class with the random pairing. Namya, please come out and call out your friends' roll numbers.
roll number 44 and roll number 5.
Yes, roll number 44 and 5, please come. Gati, please come out and call out the next two roll numbers.
The next two roll numbers are 14 and 46.
Okay, roll number 46 and 14, please come out from your places and sit together. Very good. Avyukta, please come out and call out the next two roll numbers.
The next two roll numbers are 25 and 36.
Okay, roll number 25 and 36, please come out and sit together. Now the question comes, why random pairs?
Random pairs, what I think, that children enjoy the surprise. They understand better when they have a concept explained by their peers, whose thought processes are almost similar to their own thought processes. It also avoids sorting and labeling of children. Labeling and sorting of children, it really disheartens them.
Today we are going to read sun, moon, sky and stars. When we get up in the morning, it is daytime. We always see the sun shining in the sky. Planet has its satellites too. As planets go around the sun, satellites go around their planets. Hey Henry, I don't know the meaning of satellite. Please tell me the meaning of satellite. Yes, let me search from my dictionary. Okay. An artificial object placed on our orbit around a planet. Thank you, Henry. Hey, Henry, let's revise chapter Sun, Moon, Sky and Stars. What are stars? Why do they appear small? The stars are big ball of fire. They appear small because they are very far away. Correct.
So are the pairs going to be same for the entire session, or do we change them?
No, we quite frequently change the pairs every day. In fact, for every topic. The reason behind this is that they get to work frequently with each other at some point of time over the month.
How may I help you, sir? I want this juice and this puppet, but the cost of the juice is 20 rupees and the cost of this puppet is 50 rupees. Don't worry, I have the change amount. Okay, take. Oh, 100. Let me calculate, sir. The left amount is 30. Thank you, sir. Thank you. At what time do you wake up?
I wake up at 6 o'clock.
When do you go to school?
I go to school at 8 o'clock. Which time did you take dinner?
Eat my dinner at 8:25.
When you go to play?
I go to play at 3 o'clock.
Very good morning, everyone. I'm Sunita Gandhi, founder of Getty Global Education Training Institute, and I'm with my colleague here, Priya Chatrawal. Please introduce yourself.
A very good morning to all of you. I am Priya Chatrawal and I am the principal of Lumina Terra School of Nations.
Okay, so we have done this very special town hall at the request of my team, and I'm delighted to be here in the morning with you, and we'll probably continue to do some morning sessions. So invite other educators as you might. So what is PATH and why are we so gung-ho about this PATH? We shall explore together. And it's going to be a very short session, 1 hour session. So I hope you'll find it interesting enough to stick through this 1 hour session. So PATH literally stands for?
So P is your purposeful, A is active, T stands for transformative, which it truly is, ma'am. And last but not the least, the letter H, holistic, that combines and builds everything together.
Right.
So that's the path.
Great. So that is the path that we want to be on, and I think we can all agree it flows completely out of New Education Policy 2020, and we'll get into that a little more in a minute. So here's the PATH movement. As you can see, there are 2 children working as a pair, and paired learning is part of the modality that we use throughout learning. We found this to be far, far more effective than when the transaction of learning is teacher to the child. Here, the transaction of learning shifts directly from child to child. But how do we empower that change? How do we get children to know what to do and for them to do it for hours and hours on their own and with each other, so that their learning is truly consolidated? Those dead spaces that they wait for the teacher's next instructions are gone. There's more personalized learning because they're at the level of each other. And how do we do it? How does it work? Does it really work? Does it really produce the results we're claiming it does? All these are questions on everyone's mind, and I'm sure we'll be able to answer that for you. Right. So we will go into the idea that path is like the journey we do on a particular path. So we have to go from Lucknow to Chandigarh. Ma'am's from Chandigarh. And so what path do we take? It's our choice. We can take a path that is literally a road. We can fly there. We can take another vehicle to get there. So how do we get on that path is the next question. First is, what's the destination? So we have decided the destination is Chandigarh. So we must know where we are going. And often we don't know because we are in the middle of a school in which, the teacher comes to school and knows what's the next chapter she has to teach. But she doesn't really have that very clear vision as to why we're teaching in the first place, where do we have to take children, what are the real things that matter in the education of a child. For example, we might consider that it's very important that every child feels his or her confidence, feels confident, and is able to then emerge from education being able to contribute to their own families, to the society and to the world in a much better way because they are confident. If we rob them of their confidence, which we do, unfortunately, in many cases, because we think they're not getting enough marks or because of this or that, and even children feel it themselves. And I think we kind of, in the old way of thinking, unknowingly, we don't know the destination. The destination happens to be that confidence that every child must feel. So once we know the destinations or the destination, Then we choose the path. Are we going to take the scenic route? Are we going to take the swift route? Are we going to go on the road? And then which vehicle we'll take? And here we are proposing to you that a vehicle called Alpha is where we are on. You don't have to take that vehicle. Let's make it very clear. We are not. We are trying to create a movement in which we can all align our thoughts that education must be purposeful, must be active, all children active, not the teacher active, and must be transformative in whichever way. That means every child feeling empowered, 360-degree empowerment, transformation, and of course that comes also from an education being holistic, which is in the new education policy. So how does it all work in a classroom where used to, which is a particular way of delivering learning, a particular way of doing things we do, a particular way of casting the net? Is there an alternative way? Is there another path forward? And we're saying, yes, there's another path forward. Yes, there's another way. And that's Alpha, accelerating learning for all. Nishan? So accelerating learning for all is the pedagogy. So it was launched in just very recently, 2022. But it took about 25 years of research to come to Alpha. So it all began in 2001 in Iceland, where we got the opportunity to run Iceland's first 2 charter schools. We won the bid, and don't ask me why we ended up in Iceland, but we did. And that was my first laboratory. And there I invited, I think you all must know Howard Gardner and his wife Ellen Winner and some top educators from across the globe to mull over what should new education look like. And it was awesome because at that time I was just starting my second round of research on what we are now calling ipsative, which means comparing with self, not others, or competition with self, not others. So how does it all work in a regular classroom, and how do we turn a classroom around without taxing the teacher, without making it so difficult for anyone and everyone to understand? It should be as natural as picking up a mobile and dropping that landline phone off. Okay, so presently, just to give you an idea of where it's gone, where it's been since 2022, it has now come into 10,000 schools. Majority of them are government schools, but there are also low-cost private schools and elite schools. This also includes our own City Montessori School in Lucknow, which happens to be a big school. It's the biggest in the world, with this year 64,000 children, of whom about 1/3 are using Alpha, because it's for younger grades. For the moment, it's 1/3 of the school, and that's 21,000 children approximately, just over, that are using Alpha. We also have MOUs with government schools, 35,000 government schools, entire states of Himachal Pradesh, Jammu, and now we are looking at some other states taking up the program. In Uttar Pradesh, we have 7,600 government schools that are following our program. It is running in 8 countries globally also, and it has been endorsed by HGSE, Harvard Graduate School of Education. So what is the outcome? So we must look at the end before the beginning. What is the end to which we must gear ourselves? So NEP 2020 is highly progressive. I'll ask Priya ma'am to read out or explain very quickly what these outcomes we seek are.
Definitely, ma'am. So when we're talking about NEP 2020, of course, the child has to be in the center. It has to have the active student engagement. That is very crucial. Then, of course, there is a shift from teaching to learning. That is again a focus point of NEP 2020, that the focus has to be on the learning rather than teaching. And then if we talk about the 21st century skills, that is where the holistic development truly happens, where we have the 8C skills being involved. The children, they should know how to work in a collaborative setup. They should have great communication skills. They should be able to think critically with a creative mind, of course. You know, they should have that essence. They should be able to work in a manner that we want our kids to be in the 21st century. So, of course, they should have the confidence. They should have great spoken English. They should be great in academics, because, of course, that also matters. And, of course, empathy. The socio-emotional learning, that is also a very important element that has to be embedded in the education system. That's what NEP 2020 is all about. And these are going to be the outcomes of our Alpha Path as well.
Yeah, exactly. So it doesn't matter which road you choose, which vehicle you choose, but we have got on the bandwagon of Alpha, accelerating learning for all. So we are focusing directly on confidence, on spoken English, on good behavior of the children. They're being good in studies, of course, as Priya ma'am said, but also that they're respectful, kind, considerate, and obedient to their parents. Those are skills we need to focus on, not just talk about it, not just have it as at the sidelines, but actually at the center. The values must be very central to what we do. So here's a government school set of teachers getting trained, and you see when teachers are empowered, the students are empowered. So we feel that at the heart of transformation lies the teacher's own belief in two things. One, that the children are all capable of learning by themselves, that God has wired us in a manner that we can create and co-create learning by ourselves. And this is not a belief that we commonly have. Mostly we believe if we teach, the child will learn. And we are the repository of knowledge. They are taught everything by the teacher. There are many, many things we can do, which is, zonoproximal, this Vygotsky idea of zone of proximal connection. And so if I'm sitting next to her, I'm going to learn from her. And then there is also the idea of not just learning from each other, but the idea of cognitive transfer. So if I have learned, for example, the 2 plus 2 is a 4, or 2 plus 9 is 11, or how to carry over a number and how to borrow something, once I have understood it for, say, 2-digit numbers or 1-digit numbers, I can do it for 3-digit and 4-digit, and that is called cognitive transfer from one concept to another. So I myself can cognitively transfer learning, and when I'm sitting next to someone, I can also learn from her. And so the togetherness makes us stronger. And I think we've lost that element. We've forgotten that kids actually can learn from each other. We do it a little bit. Nowadays, the modern schools tend to do, for example, we are talking about constructivism. So there is a percentage of time the teacher will say, okay, everybody now, let's do think, pair, share. So, we'll face each other, we'll do an activity the teacher tells us to do, but that's not truly empowering. It's noticing that, yes, kids have a lot of fun time, yes, they're learning more, but then we have not been able to figure out a way in which this can be mainstreamed. And what we're really talking about is mainstreaming. So that zone of proximal development and that ability to cognitively transfer is built in here completely when we empower the children to work with each other and by themselves. So here on the right side, you can see that, I don't know whether you can see, but it says 84 divided by 3. This is grade 2 in a government school. When the teachers feel, oh, it's easy, I now know how to divide so quickly and so well, I can pass it on to my children. But it's not just a technique. It's about how do we empower them to work with each other and to discover together. It's not just about 5 sums you write on the board and that the children do in their copies. It's not that. Even 5 sums that we write and they do hands-on, that's not enough. What they need to do is to create many, many more sums on their own and with each other. And that's where they develop what we call critical thinking. Because if they don't pose questions for each other, they're not learning as much and they're not critically engaging with it. They're not able to make problem sums for themselves and so forth. So this is happening, and we're seeing amazing outcomes everywhere, including that Harvard report we mentioned earlier. Okay, so now we look at something quickly we can try together. So we say that in mathematics, that we should give every child the sense of place value from the beginning. So it's not about introducing place value in grade 3 or grade 4. It's like from Montessori, nursery, from little children. They should learn place value. So how do they learn that? They're not necessarily told place value, but they are learning it in the process. So, for example, a snap is a 1. So we say the learning of mathematics should flow from kinesthetic to concrete to abstract. So kinesthetic is really helpful because very quickly they understand the whole thing without even having to go into any other form of learning. And I think why not? If they can learn quickly, then we should obviously enjoy that massive learning at the beginning.
Accelerate the pace.
Accelerate the pace, but we don't have to do that. They do it for themselves.
Yes.
So very little ones, we just teach once. So we'll say 1. Ma'am, you can make 2.
Okay. 2,
3,
4,
5.
6.
Like that. So anyway, I can make a random number and she can tell me what number it is. So I'll make a number and you have to tell me what it is. And little children, you can't even hear their snaps. They move their hands. 1, 2. What was that?
4.
Well done. Good job. Now you make a number, please. 5.
Well done.
Thank you. So you see 2 things that you can observe here. One, that we've just empowered the children to make numbers for themselves with each other, which is very, very important. Secondly, we're giving a high five to each other. So this is good for social emotional learning, because all day long children are hearing from each other, well done, good job, high five, and the whole class is doing that to each other. And it's not about giving them a few numbers to make. It's like from 0 to 9 or 1 to 9 they can make on their own, and without any particular order in mind. So they practice for long time as well. And the other observation might be that we are taking equal turns. That I'm making a number and she's telling me what number it is, then she's making a number and she's telling me what number it is. So it's bari, it's taking turns. It's not like one child asking, the other always answering. And I think that's what sometimes, think Pair Share and others are about, where you, and all the research on paired learning, which is tons of research, where you see that it is about one child who knows more is the one who's teaching the one who doesn't know. So in a way, instead of the teacher teaching the whole class, now this teacher is teaching the child. No, we don't want that. We want equal learning. So this leads to more empowerment, as we have found in our data, not just of the children who are perhaps lower in understanding, but children who are at the top as well. They've gone up. And this is magical, because a lot of the research saying that children at the top may not go up because they're constantly teaching the ones who are not good enough in their studies. Here we're saying, no, it's an equal. So they're challenging each other. So when Smita Dikshit, one of our coordinators for grade 2, who teaches grade 2 math as well, and she texted me saying, ma'am, can we talk? And she said that we're getting some amazing results. And I saw my grade 2 children, when I was teaching them even and odd numbers, making numbers for each other that were in thousands, like 2014, and that's an even number. So they color it a particular color, say blue, and the odd ones as some other color, say pink. So she showed me and sent me a snapshot, and it was delightful to see, because these children are unstoppable. Once they've figured out a way to learn with each other, you're not going to put controls on them saying, no, this is glass ceiling, please don't go above grade 1 or grade KG or whatever it might be, because these kids are on a roll. And they'll go on.
The limit for them.
The sky's the limit for them, literally. Okay, so this bari is very important. Okay, then we go into concrete. So I want to show you how that looks. Now I'm going to go into tens and ones as well, briefly, before we go into concrete.
Yes,
okay?
ma'am.
So I'll make a tens and, you make this time. You're my teacher now. Okay. I'll be the student. You make a number.
So for tens, we have the claps. So I'm starting.
21.
Well done.
Okay, so I'll make a number now. Okay.
33.
Try again. I'll do it again.
34.
Well done. Good job. So we also teach children how to say try again if they get it wrong. And this tantamounts to what Dr. Maria Montessori referred to as the control of error. So the error control comes not from the teacher, but now from each other. When we notice that something is not quite right, we'll say, hey, try again. And it increases listening skills, observation skills, and so many other skills that we have wanted to develop, but in some other ways, very different set ways of developing those skills. Here we are saying you're unleashing a process. And so it's process-led transformation rather than just one kind of transformation, which is usually book-led transformation. So let's show it in material.
Yes, ma'am.
So ma'am, why don't you make my number for me?
Sure.
Yeah.
So each stick represents tens, and there you go. Which number is it?
No, but you were to make my number. I made.
Okay.
Okay, so that's how we can also remind each other, correct each other, and then I'll check, what, did she make my number right? 10, 20, 30, 1, 2, 3, 4. Well done, good job. Now you can ask me to write.
Yes, yes. Now, so the concrete is done. Now we'll move on to the abstract part.
Okay, so next I'll write in my notebook on a sheet of paper the number that I had asked her to make, and in the abstract form. So this is 34 in the abstract form. And so you see it's kinesthetic, clap and snap, and concrete, and then abstract. The one thing to also notice is that the concrete form is what we need initially. And then later on, we can drop the concrete form because we have understood. I can in my mind multiply, using this material, just like abacus. It goes in my mind, I can understand what it is. And after some time, I don't need the gadget. Similarly, I don't need these materials. This is just at the beginning. But look how far you can go with the material. You can go up to lakhs and tens of lakhs and, a billion when you're doing the international system. There's no limit. And it's such a simple set of materials and a simple process. We're not going to go into too much detail about how you do addition, subtraction, but trust me that children know why carry over, why borrow. They are able to indicate how to borrow, how to carry over right here, and they have a better understanding of it than sometimes even high school children who just know the technique, but they don't know why they're carrying over, why they're borrowing. So they make mistakes, place value mistakes.
Yes, ma'am. Very true.
Okay, so here you have clap up is 1,000, so you've got 2 clap ups, 1 shoulder tap, that's 100, 3 claps, which is 30, and 5 snaps, which is a 5. So total number made by this sequence is what? Is very clear. So it's 2,135. There's no finger counting, we don't allow that, we just want them to do snaps because snaps are limitless and fingers are limited. And also when you do claps and snaps, you can make numbers from 1 to 99. So you don't have to say make these 5 numbers because now my partner and I can make up to 100 numbers. When you go to hundreds, we've got many more combinations and hundreds of numbers that we can co-create and create, even with a 0. So if I don't clap in the middle, this shoulder tap is 100. So I do 100, 200, 300, and I just do 1, 2, 3. So it's 303. There's a 0 in the middle because I didn't clap. So they learn, and if there's 0 at the one's value, I know that's 0. Okay, so let's continue on. So here's a video. I want you to see a classroom full of children working as a pair. The bean is, I think, it's a bean. It's a ones, and then tens, hundreds. They can choose any material. It can be leaves. It can be folded paper, balls of paper. It can be spoons at home. It can be potatoes. Just anything. And they love to do that. Get into other materials. This also improves their creativity. One of the goals that NEP 2020 says we must have 21st century skills that we are referring to as 8C skills. And of the 8C skills, one of the 4C skills, which is mentioned in the NEP, among collaboration, communication, critical thinking, is creativity. So how does creativity take place? You can imagine with this process when they change material on their own and they become good at asking each other questions and so forth. Please proceed.
There are 300. How many tens are there? There are 20 numbers. No, there are 2 tens. How many thousands are there? There are 2,000. How many ones are there? There are only ones. Now read the number. 3,321.
Please. Okay, so we have to continue with this idea that children can learn by themselves and with each other, but they can also learn a lot better when they get the agency to work with themselves, and they're empowered in this way that we mentioned. So here you can see learning in pairs is going on everywhere, and here you have the children doing place value lots of large numbers here in thousands and tens of thousands. In the middle with the green table and below it, it's data handling questions that they're making for each other. And you can see a lot of variety of activities they're doing, a lot of written expression, a lot of absorbing, but also learning through mistakes. Mistakes are a very powerful mechanism for learning. Okay, so if you unpack what is this whole program, so we are saying, look, books unfortunately are required, but if we can do without books, we probably could. But I think parents wanted, children wanted, and the teachers needed by looks of it. So, but in any case, we have made it into a big virtue. And how we've converted it to a virtue is by having in the book itself certain things we want the teacher to do without having to teach her, sporadically. Normal training of teachers is like 3 days, 5 days, sporadically across the year. Sometimes only once a year. Of course, CBSE is mandating 5 hours of training, and teachers are having to stay back for their training. So all that training is happening, but what we feel is that teachers tend to forget that training. They're very excited by the good training they get, but when they go to classroom, the books don't support that training, and so there's a disconnect. And so teachers tend to forget what they've learned. Even the very best teachers shy away from necessarily doing those things. There are other problems, other disconnects. For example, they don't have the material that's required. So how does the system work all together is where we are at. And so we're saying that, look, process is very important. We're shifting teaching to learning, which is something that NEP 2020 has said. What does it mean? I think we're all struggling to figure this out. How do you convert teaching to learning? So perhaps Alpha is managing to do so by empowering children, so then they are focused on learning, and our teaching is more empowering than in the past. The second is, of course, the teacher's growth is not sporadic, it's everyday affair. And how it is every day is that in the books, we've made them, with prompts and triggers for the teacher. So every page, every module, which may sometimes be half a page module, has what's called teacher triggers. And teacher triggers are of 3 types. One could be definitional. For example, what are adjectives? One is in-class activity teacher is supposed to do. So that could be like, have everybody make a badge for each other, with qualities of each other. Then the third part is home stretch activity, which is how you stretch that whatever we learned in class to home. And here children set questions for each other, but also the prompts are very clear. For example, here it could be that go home and talk about the qualities of each of your family members and or colors or whatever it might be. So it stretches that learning. It's not new learning for which they may need a tutor or an adult to support them. Here it is actually extending that learning. So we call it home stretch rather than home work. And there's a lot of parent engagement. See, in the past, we used to write diaries for the parents saying that today your child did X, Y, Z, and at home he has to do pages 34, 35. Now, we say that pages so-and-so because we don't have time to elaborate, and we don't often give activities because it's so much hard work for the teacher to A, come up with it, put it on the board for children to copy or for little ones to write in everyone's diary. So obviously it's very impractical. So what we have done is put the parent guidelines, rather what's a home stretch activities, which the teacher lets the children know, and parents can also read it at home. Parents feel very supported because they get much more information that they really always wanted. That is, I should know what my child did in class, it's right there. What my child should do at home, it's right there. And the activities are creative, well chosen, thought through from the beginning. But of course, teachers are welcome to add to them, parents are welcome to add to them, children themselves become very creative and they add to them. So that's awesome as well. Now, the buddy books are just not books. They're actually a formula for the children to work independently and to learn to work independently. They're very visual, therefore, and the children can tell, okay, I know what my task is. For little ones, they need those visuals much more, but even the older ones get supported when the visuals are there, and then there's text that they can read on their own as to what they're supposed to do. So one the teacher demonstrates, the other the children on their own. Teacher doesn't demonstrate alone, as we agreed. Teacher goes and brings the child forward, and the selection is always random. So there's a jar with all the names of the children in it, and the teacher closes his eyes, pulls out a name, and says, my partner will be so-and-so. The partner comes to the front, the teacher demonstrates how to do something in a pair. the whole class is sitting in pairs and they do it themselves. Pairs are randomly made every day, a point that Priya ma'am mentioned briefly earlier, and that's really, really important because pairs should not be set by the teacher, because when a teacher sets the pairs, then she is thinking ability. And we are thinking so many more learning gains are there when the pairs are randomly set. So for example, I am sitting with Priya ma'am today, tomorrow I'm sitting with Nishant sir here, another time I'm sitting with Anas bhaiya here. So like that, I'm sitting with a lot of, with Ahmed sir here. So a lot of team is here, by the way, that are helping me make this possible. So you can see me in this form. All of this is allowing me to get to know my class not as names, but as people. And often I don't even know them as names. There are other many multiple benefits of one-to-one learning. One of them being that a shy child is confronting another child, so one-to-one is a safe environment for that child. Hyper children, because there are so many activities and it's one-to-one again, they are more connected and able to settle down. We have children who have special needs, and we have them dotted across our classes. So these children normally are sitting in a corner or anywhere, but nobody's really going up to them. They're saying, oh, they have special needs. But now I have to sit with them, and the whole class, in a month or so, will sit with that special needs child and say, I'm the special needs child, and Priya is sitting with me. How do I feel? I feel the whole class gets to know me as a person. They see my struggle. They appreciate that deepening of emotions, that beautiful, possibilities that come from having a special needs child makes our class very special. And a great opportunity for deepening emotions, for connecting in a different way. It's learning. Even if Priya might know everything, it doesn't matter. It matters that she's learning all those skills as well, because that's what we are saying is holistic 360-degree education. So it's not any more rhetoric. It's not just, oh, how do we do it? What do we do? I think we figured out a way that, at least for the now, we can say is absolutely amazing, dramatic, and is producing results that we had never, ever thought possible. I mean, of course, anybody can say that City Montessori is a good school. We have largest number of children in the world, so we must be all right, huh? And the teachers here feel, oh, we are the best. Priya ma'am has been heading, some classes of Cambridge section here in one of our campuses. And then I invited her to be principal. So the fact is that good schools like City Montessori School, like Cambridge sections of ours, like good schools that are out there in the country everywhere, and they have full house, so they can all believe that we are the best. Why do we need anything new? We are really there. We know it. But actually, what we found is that good school can be a lot better. And I think this is where we are humbly suggesting that one should not close doors to new possibilities, and one should be open-minded to the idea that children can learn much more, can feel their power, be empowered to learn and to create learning by themselves. Learning to learn is a skill that they need to have, and that they can develop in this. And the confidence that they develop, the ability to articulate things in English or in their home language, mother tongue. I mean, the ability to say, what am I doing? I'm adding this number with this number, I'm subtracting this number with this. Articulating all that, like a science experiment, everything. It's awesome to see. And so every school can become better. We have data to support our assertions here, that our own, for example, grade 3 children were measured by a third party recently. We measure grade 3 to grade 12, third party evaluation. And it came out there that the children who had done alpha, we're talking about a test that was taking place around end of July. So they'd hardly had 8 weeks in the schooling system because of the summer break. And these kids had 10 percentage points higher achievement in English and 11 percentage points higher achievement in mathematics compared to the campuses that did not take alpha. Not every campus took it for grade 3. 5 campuses of 21 took alpha for grade 3, and 20 of the 21, 16 did not. And those 16 were compared with the 5 that took alpha, and we found that these alpha kids in the same very good school did so much better in a third-party evaluation. Okay, so that improves our faith in that new things may work out very well. And there is a new path forward, which is more becoming. And all these qualities we thought we want to introduce, like collaboration, we keep doing it as an add-on. We hardly ever find a way to mainstream it. The whole idea of collaboration being at the center, not at the margins. and now we're seeing it happen. So EdTech tools are there as well, and there are assessments that are diagnostic. You can see an assessment peeping above the heads of these two kids, and that is very visual, colorful assessments. There's always a demo, so kids feel supported. If they can't read for the little ones, we don't give them demos for the older ones, but little ones get the demos, and they can see, okay, that's my task, without the teacher having to tell you what your task is. And they get practice sheets, worksheets early on, so they understand what their task is without the teacher having to intervene. And so we want really good, solid quality assessments. Teachers have become used to the idea that frequent assessments are treated all as feedback. They're not treated as punitive, as ranking systems or reprimanding systems. It's okay to get less mark. It's diagnostic for the teacher, and she knows, okay, I know what I need to demonstrate again, and so forth. Okay, so let's do literacy now very quickly. Yeah. So here is again, you can see in a government school, a teacher. Tina and Toto puppets are the favorite of all children, whether it's in elite private schools or in the government schools. They love the Tina Toto puppets. They make it on their own, or we have got some here as well. So yes, please hold one. So you're Toto, I'm Tina. It doesn't matter, it's not gender specific, because they are characters. When we play Hanuman in an acting of Hanumanji, it doesn't matter whether you're which gender. I mean, you're impersonating Hanumanji. So here we have Tina and Toto, and they're good friends. So when they go home, mother becomes a Toto or a Tina, and child is a Tina or Toto, and they have this continued activity that goes from classroom as paired learning, and in the class also use Tina and Toto puppets, and they take it home. They have an envelope in which they keep these Tina and Toto puppets. They make so many types of Tina Toto puppets. This has been made from a cup. So it's that fuzzy hair one. Okay, so here we are going to do this with Tina Toto puppets. So you see here on the left is how we normally teach phonics. Phonics become more popular than whole language, the way we learned. But phonics says, letters, of course, are not important there so much as letter sounds. So we say C says K, right? Or B says ba. But we know that B doesn't say ba, B says B. So how does a child know? It is through rote at the beginning. So they don't know letters, all completely unknown to them. They don't exist in the world. And letter sounds are told also because they're not natural flow, that B says ba, where it doesn't say ba, it says B. So like that. So instead of that, what about, and this is where our discovery comes in, the way we scaffold learning is different, completely different, and these are picture sounds. And not just picture sounds, 3 pictures have been put together scientifically so that the sounds that are derived then added up, which is also a cognitive process, become a word. So these letters that you're seeing are not letters, these are sound symbols, right? For the child, they're not seeing as C-A-T, they're seeing car, K, apple, A, tub, T, right? So from that, they can derive first sounds. The pictures lead to the first sounds. It's a natural, it's cognitive, it's not rote, and nobody's teaching you except the process of learning by yourself. And then the adding of the sounds makes the word cat. Now, here I also want to point out that these can be pictures in the environment. Kids go home and they say, this is a sofa, it's, right? And it's a table. So like that, they are able to distinguish sounds and derive sounds and practice sounds. With the Tina Toto puppets, they go around the house and discover the sounds around. And they add the sounds also and make words, right? So let's go to the next slide. Yeah. So here we're going to do the process they use in the prompts in the books that we are calling buddy books. Buddy books because buddies work together. So buddy book says, gives you something like this, a module like this, right? And this is the very first module. It's not that you're teaching letters first, or you're teaching letter sounds first, or you're teaching picture sounds first. Yes, you can teach picture sounds first for the little child, very little child, and you can do memory games, but they're not letter sounds. So that's again cognitive. It's again derived from a picture, the sounds. They just need to know what do you mean by the first sound, right? That's all they need to know. And then they do matching of pictures and picture sounds. They derive the sounds. That's an early part of, for very little ones, and they come to this. Even 3-year-olds are getting this to do on the first day.
Okay, so shall we start?
Yeah, you be my teacher.
Okay. Hello, Tina.
Hi, Toto.
How are you doing today, Tina?
I'm doing good. Thank you.
So, Tina, what is this?
This.
Can we have the image on the screen?
Yeah.
So, what is this?
The first picture is a car.
What is the first sound of this picture?
First sound of car is.
What is the next image?
I think it's an apple.
And what is the first sound of an apple?
Apple.
And what about the third picture?
I see a tub.
And what is the first sound of tub?
Tub.
And when we add the first sounds of all the three words, what do we get?
Cat.
Well done.
Thank you. Wow. So this is part 1, which is a demonstration called teacher-child demonstration. Now it will be child to ask the teacher, because we must complete the idea of paired learning. Means that the children mustn't only know how the teacher teaches the child, but also the child has to now teach the teacher. So it's like bari, it's like taking turns. So teacher becomes now the learner and I become the teacher, right? So it's called teacher-child demonstration. So I'll ask for the next word, not for that word, but for the next word, I'm now asking her questions. So what is the first picture that you see, Toro?
It's a bus.
Very good. What's the first sound? Very good. Excellent. What's the second picture?
Second picture is an apple.
Great. What is the first sound?
The first sound is
What is the third picture?
The third picture is a goat.
Great. Well done. What is the third sound?
The third sound, it says k.
Very good. Excellent. Now, if we add the 3 sounds, what word do we get?
We get bag.
Well done. Good job, Toto. Well done. So you see, what happened is that I empowered her, or she empowered me as a student in a teacher-child part of the exchange. Then student-child, I have now shown to my class how they're going to work in a pair. So that is the first step. There are other couple of steps before the children get to do what they're doing here. Let's watch a video of them doing it. These are 3 or 4-year-olds, 4-year-olds in a class.
This is the fish. What is the first sound of it? First sound of the fish. What is this? This is the orange. What is the first sound of orange? First sound of orange. Oh. What is this? The X6. This is a wheel. What's on the wheel? What? What is this? This is an insect. What's on the insect? Eat. What is this? This is a goat. What's on the goat? Goat. What? Eat. Goat. This is bag. What's the voice on the bag? Book. What is this? This is an orange. What's the voice on orange? Oh. What is this? This is X. The first one X. Book. Book. This is a zebra. Why the first sound of zebra? First sound of zebra is. What is this? This is an insect. Why the first sound of insect? First sound of insect is E. What is this? This is a parrot. What is the first sound of parrot? First sound of parrot is B. E. B. Zeb.
So basically, you can see that this kind of activity empowers them to learn all the picture sounds, add the picture sounds to make words. Then it leads to sentences where we teach second sounds. For example, A has 4 sounds. So the first sound is A that we teach them. And then we also teach them a sound, the umbrella sound. We put a little umbrella on top, so they know it's got to be an sound. So they can read sentences. And then there's picture support at the end so that they are completely independent. So it's very thoughtfully done so the children can be independent learners. And here's another example of independent learning where we've got 3 columns, nouns, verbs, and nouns, with a whole bunch of words for each of them. And the prompts at the bottom is what the teacher sees also, and the children, when they can read on their own. But these are the little ones, let's say kindergarten children or 1, and they'll be making sentences on their own. And so, by the way, the level of learning is much, much greater because these children are empowered, so there's no reason to hold them back, and we allow them to learn. That also can be seen as, like in the buddy books, we didn't push them too hard, though they're capable of course, extending that learning here also. But the idea that they can be 1 grade higher, or we can think of it as they can complete the whole year syllabus in less time. And so that rushing around syllabus, that feeling of constant, that we have so much to do is taken away. So here, just as a very simple example of how children can create learning, there are 3 prompts. And I'll request Priya ma'am to explain the 3 prompts very quickly.
Sure, ma'am. So in the first one, when we see, it says pair up. So again, every activity, it has to be in pairs. So we've got kids working in collaboration, we have these pairs. So the first one says that take turns to make sentences using 1 word from each of the columns. So the child is going to choose 1 word from column A, 1 from B, and 1 from C. You can use any words from each of the columns. So example is also given, my dad makes dinner. My mom drives the car. Moving ahead, the second prompt, now what do they have to do is make up your own list of nouns and verbs. So the list is already given. Now to this list only the kids can add the words. So they've got, endless list. So this activity becomes limitless. There is truly no limit for the learning of the child. Moving on to the third prompt. Now what do they have to do is they have to make up a prose. Now again an example is given. See, this is the beauty of it. Everything, it's all there. All is needed is the execution of the activity. So now they have to make up a prose. Example is again given. I live with my mother, father, sister, and Tommy, our pet dog. We like to ride in a car. When we go to the beach, Tommy likes to run after the ball. And then after that, what is given is towards the end, we've got fill-ups also. So I like to play dash. I like to do a blank. My favorite subject is. So in this way, we can have different activities for the children with just these 3 columns. And of course, the words can be added to the list.
Yeah, so that's again, it's not about specific sentences that they make. It is about unleashing a process by which they can create more sentences. They can create their own list of nouns, verbs, and nouns and create more sentences. And at the end, they can also create those questions for each other. For example, fill in the blank questions. So we see these very little ones making these fill in the blank questions. Let me show you a video of that another time. But you can go to our path landing page. It's called gettylearn.org/path. So if you go to gettylearn.org/path, below that you see a whole bunch of videos, and you press the button, it says more videos, see more videos. You go in there, there's a Google Drive, and you've got hundreds of videos. So you can see these things happening, and more are being added as we, our staff gets the time. But we're getting thousands of these videos from classrooms every single day because so many kids are involved and so many parents are now involved. It's a lot of joyous activity going on at home. Parents have become videographers because now the kids dress up and they want the settings and all that to be made and to take a video of their children doing it. Or with Tina Toto and the fathers taking the video, mother and child are interacting, or grandparents and the child are interacting. Just awesome. Okay, next. Okay, so here's another type of activity. We will not do it now. But for example, we give them some vowels and consonants on the board like this. And the kids make their own chit cards. And these are prompts given in the book that they make chits of all the letters. Then they divide them into 2 piles. Pile 1 is all vowels and pile 2 is all consonants. For example, turn them upside down, pick up three vowels, any 3 vowels, pick up any 5 consonants. That's just one example. They could do other variations. And they will make then words out of these. And they'll figure out how many words can they make. and then they go look up a dictionary, they look up the computer, they go to each other, as in one pair goes to another pair, and they share their lists of words they've made. So it's like unleashing a process. Every single time we're trying to unleash a process by which children can do something on their own and stretch that on their own. So a stretch here would include things like,
Okay, so now I have my words. So what I can do is I can find synonyms of those words. I can have antonyms, then create a story, draw those words, and of course write a poem, maybe a passage, a story, all these ways.
yeah, and when I'm writing my own words, starting from those letters, randomly selected letters, I can select next set of letters will be another set of letters that we select. So we can take turns to select or pick out those vowels and consonants and make endless lists. So again, instead of saying 5 questions or 5 things I'll dictate to you, or 10 words I'll dictate to you, you're saying, look, go and make as many words as you can, share with each other, and it's joyous learning, but it's also a lot more learning. But the words I have made, I'm more likely to make sentences of, I'm more likely to do various things with it, and so the writing also goes up enormously. We've seen 3 to 5 times writing in the classes compared to what they were doing in these good schools in the previous years. So instead of giving 5 minutes, 5 questions, we're saying 5 minutes, do this activity. Or 10 questions, instead of 10 dictation words, I'll say 10 minutes, do this with each other. Stretch it at home, do what you can at home, come back, share with each other. That sharing allows me to bring more homework, because that home stretch activity is A, joyful, B, it's a stretch on what I've done in the class, so I'm more likely to do it on my own. Because I know the process of creating a more joyous home stretch, I want to share it the next day with my new partner, so I'll bring it and share with my new partner, and my new partner will share with me. What we have seen also is that there's more homework being done because of this, right? So children typically 30-40% won't bring homework, or 10% won't bring homework, depending on the class. And here now practically all the children are bringing homework. And we're also saying to them, look, first finish your homework. So if my partner hasn't brought her word list, then we work together to make it happen. So the question is, can children be engaged for hours in such activity? If yes, then you can choose one. And if they require a lot more intervention, and this is not exciting for them, or it's more difficult for them, then you can answer 2 or 3. So you may answer in chat. The next question also is, do these activities shift focus from teaching to learning, yes or no? This is what NEP 2020 asks. So do they shift focus from teaching to learning? If you agree, you can say yes. Okay, so let's move on. See, writing, as you can see, is also joyful, and every copy will be a different copy. You will not see identical answers. You will not see identical expressions of the things. If, for example, the prompt for writing is a poem, one of the poems that's really favorite of the children in grade 1, it is, what if O ran away? So it ends with, oh no, there will be no mom and pop. Because if O ran away, there'll be no mom, there'll be no pop. And there'll be no mop, there'll be no whatever. So many words are there. And then they look at that as a demonstration, as a model, and then they make their own what if any other vowel ran away, what if A ran away. And so they come up with loads of expressions. It's a very joyful activity. They go from one pair to the other to share, and pairs make it together as well, so they make much more enhanced. They think about the process. It's so much more learning than the normal way. Next, please. Okay, so how does empowerment happen? Just very quickly, here is a grade 3 story about Ollie the owl, and he's a lazy owl. And the first chapter has this activity in which the children have to match causes with effects. So there's a little bit of a definition, as I mentioned, the prompts at the bottom for the teacher, and the children can read in grade 3 on their own. Talk about what is cause, what is effect. Then in class, what are the things they can do? And then at home, how they can stretch that activity. So I'll ask Priya ma'am to relate that from the activity. These are the prompts the teacher would have. So teacher has to just relate to the children, and then teacher can sit back in her corner, not necessarily in the center. We don't want the teachers in the center running the show. They sit in the corner, they get up, they observe the class, they tiptoe around the class, they come back and write in their reflection registers what they saw, and there are a lot of other things that they enter into reflection registers. So very quickly, ma'am.
Definitely, ma'am. So it's already given that in class, which activity will be taken up? Look at the colors on the owl's wing. each color links a cause to its effect. So we've got different colors, and then for each color, read the cause statement on the left and match it to the correct effect on the right. So that matching has to be done in the class. So in-class activity is given. And then for the home stretch, what the kids have to do is they have to write 4 causes as well as give the effects of those causes. So an example is given: I forgot my umbrella and its effect is I got wet in the rain. So similarly, it can be taken up.
Very good, thank you. So we're not saying write 4, we're saying write a few.
Yeah.
And I think that's, no, it's okay. That's the difference. You know, we're not giving numbers, we're saying a few. And so children are stretched, some of them will write 30, 40 of them. Why do we stop them? Why do we say write 5?
Yes.
So this is some, culture changes that we are dealing with as well. Right. So now we are getting closer to the end of the event. I'll not be able to show you many things, but trust that there's a lot of parent empowerment going on. Here's a 3-year-old, the parent is interacting with her, and on the bed on the front you can see on the side, the grandparents and uncles and aunts, God knows how many people are looking, and they're looking at this little child, they're doting on her. This is exactly what we want at home. Not this reprimand, did you do this? How come you don't know this? Please continue, next one. Yeah. So you can see parents interacting with their children, the Tina Toto that I mentioned earlier. This is happening in the classes. Won't be able to play the videos, but do please go to the path page on gettylearn.org, and on that go to the video link where it says watch more videos. I will play this one very, very briefly so you can see how the children are articulating in English what they're doing and how they're using Tina Toto puppets and how it is self-led learning.
Hello, my name is Ojal Singh. I study in class 1st M. Today we are going to learn some 2-digit subtraction with our maths toolkit. So let's get started with my friend Tina and Toto.
Video, but it's really exciting to see this video. Please go next. Yeah, so here you can see this little girl on the left. Again, it's a video. We'll be able to pass it on to you through that path link. And she's set up the whole setting behind her and all that. And she's now going to read her poem called Gubbare. And it's a grade 1 child. And on the right, we have a whole class full of these 5-year-olds, grade kindergarten children, reading Hindi and English newspapers. So not all can read immediately. I mean, this is like not even the middle of the year and they're reading. But by the end of the year, most of them will be reading newspapers. Reading newspapers is not the goal. The goal is that they can read difficult language, and we can demonstrate that children are all capable of doing so. And here you can see, they're just learning so much better now with each other. And there's so much more creativity. Here, these grade 2 children have created sums for each other that are very difficult. They're not surely expected to do anything more than up to 99, operations within 99, and private schools might take them a little notch higher, but that's the government CBSE board, 99 is the number. But here they've made for each other, these grade 2 children, a sum which is 1,385 multiplied by 3. That's the number they gave each other. So there is no limit. And this is a whole video you can watch. It's really delightful to see. Next. So fractions are done, music is turned on, they bring newspaper from home, they fold it, they stand on it in their pairs, and they learn all sorts of things with it. Just extends into even grade 2, grade 3 fractions. Next. So it's a holistic education, 1:1 learning. Now here they're making patterns. You can see that they can use any nature environment, anything from the environment, from home, recycle, reuse, and so forth. And you can also see that they're becoming very creative, and every table will have its own arrangement. It's not the same arrangement throughout at all. They're learning 8C skills, 4C skills, and 4C skill traits. 4C skills are the ones NEP mentioned: collaboration, communication, critical thinking, and creativity. And traits are outcomes like character, climate consciousness, connectedness, and also citizenship. So here about the whale, they learn about the problems the whales are facing. They enact, one child acts as a researcher. This is grade 3, and the other child works as the whale, and then they have a conversation. And the plight of the whale is then written down as a role play. They also enact it out. Next. Nature integration as much as possible in our concrete world. We try to do that in Alpha a little more. And then next, Reports, assessments, we'll just run past these slides very quickly. So you can see children are correcting each other's work. They are making questions for each other, and it's a lot of control of error going on. Like Maria Montessori terms it as the control of error, and there's built-in instant control of error. Assessments are colorful and joyous. We start with an energizer. Kids sit down. They're all happy and joyously engaged with the assessment, and everybody's doing really well. This is what every parent wants, that their child should do well. And now we are seeing genuinely the children are doing better, not just that 30% mark to 100% mark. Its range has reduced as well. We're seeing it all across the board. The assessments are a mix of different elements. They're very different, and they allow for expression in the way they've learned it also. And so we will not do this activity, but I just want you to know about it. It leads to results like these for the principal, for the teacher, up to grade 12. And teachers are receiving, the schools are receiving all kinds of support. And we really do believe training is central, but it's done in a vastly different way. We do it through the prompts. Teachers are learning every day what to do, and they're becoming super creative. They come up with their own ideas. Children come up with their own ideas. Parents really get engaged, come up with their ideas, and they float back into the school. And second training is Grow Circle. So every Saturday, this is government school teachers. These are from Himachal Pradesh. So they come together every Saturday, if there's a 6-day school or a Friday, and they have what's called Grow Circle meetings. And it's so wonderful to see that they're bonding better. They're discussing what went well, what didn't go so well. They're coming up with, they're reading what they have to do the next week, all the prompts and anything they need to prepare in advance, or have asked the children to bring. All of that crucial discussions take place, and they keep a tracker to see where they're at and where they need to be. So there's a macro plan and there's a tracker. So we don't necessarily go with the old idea of syllabus in the same way, because we are moving faster. And so the solutions are, typical. We are providing this to the schools now. We had never done it in the last several years, but I felt that this is so amazing in education. And with the consent of my family, we're now offering it to everyone. Those who are willing are most warmly invited to explore further and see if this works for you. And the proof that I mentioned at the beginning, it's there in the Harvard 600-page book, chapter number 8 and 10 deal with alpha, one of them in the context of Maldives, but this one in the context of India. And it shows how high effect size, the world's highest effect size in foundational literacy and numeracy. We've also got this book on the right. It's called Alpha, Accelerating Learning for All, available on Amazon, and it was published last year by Bloomsbury, as well as the book in the middle that's on my work with adult literacy. And basically, there's a QR code you're welcome to scan and get more information and get an e-certificate as well. We are inviting you to explore path with us. The Ed Leadership coming up is now November 27th, 28th, and 29th. That's the 16th Ed Leadership, and you're most warmly invited, because we'll have the biggest FLN ECCA fair. We will have a lot of empowerment for anyone. Of course, from each school, we are requesting just 3 people come. The leaders come, so you go back and part. You get trainer's certificate as well. So thank you for being there. It's a pleasure to be with you all. Thank you, Priyaji.
Thank you, ma'am.
The Path Movement for Transforming Education is being launched at this roundtable. As its name suggests, education must be purposeful, active, transformative, and holistic. Transformation in education is not merely desirable, it is an imperative. We need a system that goes beyond incremental reform to a genuine paradigm shift. Our education system needs to keep evolving itself. What children need today are meaningful opportunities to succeed and to learn with joy. Achieving this requires the courage to move away from outdated practices and embrace innovation. It is commendable that the City Montessori School has adopted the Accelerating Learning for All, ALPHA program for its 21,000 students. This approach helps every child learn better, faster, and with greater joy. As Getty launches the Path movement, let it serve as a call to action for leaders, educators, parents, and communities to come together for this transformative journey. Let us place children at the center of our efforts and give them the future they deserve.
Good morning, Anjanagar. Today we are here to understand how Alpha class will help children to be a better future ready citizens. So I have Ankita ma'am, Farah ma'am and Jaya ma'am here. So Farah ma'am, would you like to share views?
Actually, in Alpha classes, we emphasize more on building of 6Cs. Now, what are these 6Cs? 6Cs are those skills which helps in the overall holistic development of the child, and hence it prepares the children themselves for future ready citizens.
Ma'am, please can you explain what are these 6Cs?
Yes, surely. 6Cs, as the name suggests itself, it's 6 different skills of learning, like critical thinking, creativity, collaboration, communication, citizenship, and character building.
He went and jumped on a box. This box is too hard, said, "Oh, Tommy." "Oh, this box is too hard," said Tommy. Then Tommy saw another box. "This box is too soft," said Tommy.
A good job, Farah ma'am. So what did you learn from here?
Thank you, Ankita ma'am, for helping me, and thank you for keeping up patience with me. The same word I was not able to read again and again, but you did not lose the patience. So thank you so much.
Good job.
So we have learned a virtue from this, a value from this.
What is that?
That is helpfulness.
Correct. And be patient.
Okay, since Ankita ma'am, you helped me, so I have something for you. I have prepared a badge for you.
Oh, wow.
And on it I have written, Helpful Ankita.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. So children, did you understand that we have learned a virtue from today's class? That is helpfulness. Now, when you will work with your partners, you are also going to take care of them and help them. Understood?
Let's do some reading. Okay. I we need different means of transporting. No problem. Another means of Should I help you again? Yes. It's transport. Thank you. Are also used to carry goods. Some common means of transport in the kitties are. You did a great job. Thank you, Tammy. You are a very helpful boy. I have something for you. This is for you. I have made this for you.
Can you join all the sounds and guess the word?
I can try.
Absolutely.
J, E, T. Jet.
Jet. Absolutely right. Great. I was collaborating with you. We both were working together, right?
What is collaboration?
Collaboration when we work together for certain thing, for some task, right?
Like we did just now?
Yes.
I was faltering in reading and you helped me.
In case if I'm not able to read any word, then you are going to guide me. You're going to help me. That is called collaboration.
Okay, so collaboration means working together
As a
and
team.
helping each other, so that if anyone is facing any problem, we can solve the problem of that person. That is collaboration.
So children, now you all are going to do in a similar way, right? If your partner is not able to understand anything, so we'll take that as a ownership and we'll guide that partner. So can we do that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let's get started.
What is the first picture? This is a what? What is the first sound of the picture? Yup. No. See again the picture? Yup. No, it will be ver. It is yam or it is van? Van. So it will be ver. Okay.
Today we are going to do an activity where you are going to read a chapter and ask the questions to your partner. In this way, you will be able to enhance your critical thinking.
Today we will read EVS Animals chapter Animals Around Us. Okay. We see different types of animals around us. They are both big and small. They live on land, in water or on trees. Now your turn. Animals like cat and horse live on land. Animals like dolphin and shark live in water. And animals like monkey and bats live on trees. Now from this page we will ask some questions. Okay. We see different types of animals around us or one type of animal? We always see different types of animals around us. Okay, now it's your turn. Okay. Should we take good care of our pets? Yes, we should take good care of our pets.
This will enhance your creativity and you will be able to understand how to use your waste materials.
Let's make the pattern board. Okay. It's right. Well done.
What is the connection between 6Cs and alpha classes?
Actually, ma'am, I feel if a child is taught through alpha process, he possesses all the skills which are needed for securing jobs in future and make him better citizens.
And also, Ankita ma'am, in alpha classes, like they learn to work in pairs. Yes. They do random pairing. They take turns to ask questions. So they are responsible for their learning as well as the learning of their partner, right? So it helps them to converse better. They collaborate with each other and they become more confident and responsible in the class. This is what I felt.
Paired learning is the cornerstone of the Alpha program. Children working together in pairs enable rapid rates of learning. In this video, we are going to discuss that why paired learning is effective, why random pairing, and how to make pairs. Let's begin with why paired learning is effective.
Many studies have shown that paired learning is more swift and it's more effective, and it helps in improving children's performance, their academic performance, their social development, as well as their motivation and the engagement in the activity.
A traditional classroom has a teacher-pupil ratio of 40:1, which really makes it difficult for the teacher to pay attention on each and every child. But when we talk about random pairing, this ratio becomes 1:1. The child is engaged and doing the activities.
The Times of India Joe Smith tracks are up to half kilometer long, 2 feet wide. A ground survey of the cracks revealing the vulnerability of the area, reports Shivani Azad. Speaking at the UP Global Investors Summit in Grajewell on Friday, Tata Sons chairman
Okay, so now we know that pair learning is effective, but now the question is how to make pairs.
Okay, so there are different ways of making pairs. We can even use paper chits, right? Or ice cream sticks on which you can write down the roll numbers of the children, and you can call out one child who will pick the ice cream sticks and he or she is going to call out the roll numbers written on it, and then those two children will come together and sitting in a pair. Let's start the class with the random pairing. Namya, please come out and call out your friends' roll numbers.
Roll number 44 and roll number 5.
Yes, roll number 44 and 5, please come. Gati, please come out and call out the next two roll numbers.
The next two roll numbers are 14 and 46.
Okay, roll number 46 and 14, please come out from your places and sit together. Very good. Avyukta, please come out and call out the next two roll numbers.
The next two roll numbers are 25 and 36.
Okay, roll number 25 and 36, please come out and sit together. Now the question comes, why random pairs?
Random pairs, what I think, that children enjoy the surprise. They understand better when they have a concept explained by their peers whose thought processes are almost similar to their own thought processes. It also avoids sorting and labeling of children. Labeling and sorting of children, it really disheartens them.
Today we are going to read sun, moon, sky and stars. When we get up in the morning, it is daytime. We always see the sun shining in the sky.
Planet has its satellites too. As planets go around the sun, satellites go around their planets. Hey Anvi, I don't know the meaning of satellite. Please tell me the meaning of satellite.
Yes, let me search from my dictionary. Okay. An artificial object placed on an orbit around a planet.
Thank you, Anvi. Hey Anvi, let's revise chapter Sun, Moon, Sky and Stars.
What are stars? Why do they appear small?
The stars are big ball of fire. They appear small because they are very far away.